Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men. We are simple, but we ain't slick. You can dress it up, you can try to hide it, but when a man is missing you, oh, he gonna slip up. He gonna reveal himself in ways he didn't even plan on. You don't need a magnifying glass. You don't need a lie detector. Just watch his actions. Because men don't miss quietly. We always give ourselves away. When a man is missing you, he can't always say it straight. Men don't like to admit we're vulnerable. We don't like to come out and confess, I miss you. That sounds too open, too exposed, like we're handing you the keys to our emotions. But here's the thing, when we miss you, we can't hide it for long. It slips out in little ways, in small gestures, in random words that don't sound like much, but they mean everything. That first sign, the most common slip up, is when a man starts reaching out with those simple, unexpected messages. He might hit you with a text that says, hey, did you see that new show on Netflix? Now, he don't care about that show, not really. What he's doing is creating an excuse, a little open door, so he can talk to you without sounding too desperate. Or maybe he'll say, I'm just checking on you, you good? You might think, oh, that's sweet. But let me tell you, a man don't just check on people randomly. If he's reaching out, it's because you're on his mind. That's his way of saying, I miss you, without having to spell it out. Sometimes it won't even be a full sentence. He might just send a meme, a joke, or even one of those old inside jokes you used to laugh about together. See, when a man does that, he's not just trying to be funny. He's saying, remember this? Remember us? Remember that connection we had? That's his heart talking through humor, because men are scared to get serious when emotions are involved. He's trying to make you laugh, but really, he's reminding you that he's still thinking about you. And you'll notice the timing. These little messages usually come late at night when the world is quiet, when he's by himself, when he ain't got nothing to distract him. That's when missing you hits the hardest. During the day, he might be busy. He might keep himself occupied. But when the phone comes out at midnight, when he's scrolling and thinking, that's when the urge to reach out takes over. He can't fight it anymore. And so he sends that, hey, what you doing message. That ain't about what you're doing. That's about what he's feeling. Now, let's be real here. A man might try to play it off cool. He might act like he just stumbled into your inbox by accident, like, oh, I was just going through my contacts and thought of you. But don't fall for that. Ain't no man scrolling through all those names and suddenly deciding to text you unless you've been living in his head. That accidental text, that's intentional. That's missing you in disguise. Sometimes he won't even text, he'll call. And when he calls, he won't have much to say. He'll just start small talk, asking questions he already knows the answer to. You still working at that job? You still hanging with your cousin? Come on now, he knows. What he's really saying is, I want to hear your voice again. Because when a man misses you, hearing your voice soothes him. It calms that ache he's carrying. He don't even care what you're talking about. He just wants the sound of you in his ear. And then there's the social media slip-ups. You'll post something and suddenly he's the first to like it, or he leaves a comment that don't really make sense. Ah, that's crazy, or I see you. What he's really saying is, don't forget about me. Social media makes it easier for men to test the waters without diving in too deep. It's a way of reaching out without actually saying, I miss you. But make no mistake, it's the same thing. What you need to understand is men don't use words the same way women do. A woman might say, I miss you straight out. But a man, he'll use little excuses, tiny questions, funny jokes, and random messages. That's our language for missing someone. It may not sound deep, but behind that casual text is a heart that's restless. Behind that midnight call is a man who can't stop thinking about you. Behind that silly meme is somebody trying to keep a connection alive. When a man misses you, it shows up in these little slips. He can hide it for a while, but not forever. So when he starts popping up out of nowhere, when he's asking about things that don't matter, when he's suddenly interested in every small detail of your day, just know he ain't really after the answer. What he's after is you. When a man misses you, one of the biggest giveaways is how he suddenly starts showing up in the same spaces you're in. Now, don't get me wrong. Men love their independence. We love our space. We don't always want to be where everybody else is. But when we miss someone, when that absence is hitting us heavy, we start finding ways to close the gap. Even if it looks like coincidence, you'll notice it. And you might even say to yourself, ain't it funny how he's here again? But trust me, it's no accident. A man missing you will put himself in your path. He might tell himself it's casual. He'll say, I just needed to grab something at the store. But out of all the times in the week, he picks the same evening you usually shop. Or maybe you love that little coffee spot on Saturday mornings. And suddenly there he is, sitting 2 tables away, pretending like it's just random. He'll even play it cool when he sees you act surprised like, oh, I didn't know you come here. But deep down, he knew, he remembered. Because when a man misses you, your habits become his compass. He starts remembering where you go, what you like, and he uses those memories as a map to find you again. Now, the thing about men is we hate to admit we're plotting. We don't like to look like we're chasing too hard, so we make it seem like chance. But women are sharp, and y'all know the difference between coincidence and effort. You'll notice that the timing ain't random. It's too specific, too perfect. A man who misses you will reroute his whole schedule just to bump into you. And if you pay attention, you'll see that nervous energy on him. He's trying to act natural, but he's checking his phone, fidgeting, adjusting his jacket, because the truth is, he's been waiting on this moment. Another slip up is how he lingers. Even if he pretends it's coincidence, once he sees you, he won't be in a rush to leave. Suddenly, the man who was just grabbing something real quick has all the time in the world. He starts walking slower, asking small questions, stretching out the conversation. Why? Because being near you fills that void he's been carrying. Missing you makes the world feel empty, but bumping into you makes it feel whole again. So he'll drag that moment as long as he can. And sometimes it won't just be about showing up physically. He'll start popping up in your digital spaces too. If you post about a restaurant, you might find him there next week. If you mention a hobby, he suddenly takes an interest in it. This ain't random curiosity. This is a man trying to bridge the gap between his world and yours. He's showing up where you are because being around you, even in small doses, feeds something in him he can't ignore. Now, here's the funny part. Men think we're slick about this. We really believe women don't notice. We think if I act casual, she won't catch on. But ladies, you always know. You can feel when something isn't coincidence. You see the effort behind the act. And the truth is, when a man misses you enough to show up in your spaces, it's not just about missing. It's about hoping for another chance, hoping for connection, hoping you'll see him and remember to. And don't underestimate the courage it takes for a man to do this. We act tough, but showing up where you are is risky for us. We don't know if you'll smile or turn away, if you'll welcome us or shut us out. But missing you pushes past that fear. It makes a man risk the awkwardness, the rejection, just for the possibility of standing in your presence again. That's the power of missing someone. It makes pride shrink and longing take over. So when he suddenly appears in those familiar places, don't think it's by chance. Don't chalk it up to luck or routine. That's his heart steering him. That's his loneliness guiding his steps. And whether he admits it or not, whether he tries to hide behind small talk or fake surprise, what he's really saying every time he shows up is, I miss you too much to stay away. When a man misses you, one of the clearest signs is how he starts bringing up old memories. A man's mind is funny. We pretend we don't hold on to stuff like we're too tough, too busy, too focused on the now. But when somebody has touched our heart, when somebody has left an imprint, those moments stick. And when we start missing you, those memories become the closest thing we've got to you. So what do? We start slipping them into conversation. He might text you out of nowhere saying, remember that time we got lost driving out to that little restaurant? Or he'll say, you still laugh like you did when I messed up cooking that pasta? These ain't random flashbacks. That's his way of trying to relive what he felt with you. A man doesn't bring up the past unless he's longing for it in the present. And when he misses you, the past becomes a safe space where he can touch you with his words even when he can't touch you with his hand. Now, some men get real strategic with it. They'll bring up the best of times, those moments when you were both smiling, both at ease, both happy in each other's company. They'll remind you of vacations, funny inside jokes, or even small routines like how you always stopped at the same spot for coffee. Why? Because those details are what kept them warm. They're the little treasures he's been holding on to since you've been apart. When he mentions them, it's not just a trip down memory lane, it's a silent confession. He's saying, I miss us. I miss what we had. And then there's the emotional slip. Sometimes he'll bring up something so specific, you'll wonder, how did he even remember that? Maybe he recalls the way you always wore that one perfume on Sundays, or how you tilt your head when you were trying not to laugh. These ain't just casual observations. That's evidence he's been playing those memories in his head, because when a man is really missing you, he replays the tape over and over. The little things he ignored back then suddenly become the big things he treasures now. Pay attention to how he brings it up too. Sometimes it's playful, like he's trying to make you laugh. Other times his tone gets softer, almost vulnerable. And that's him fighting with himself. He doesn't want to show how much he cares, but the emotion leaks out anyway. He's trying to sound casual, but the truth is sitting heavy in his voice. That's missing you slipping through his pride. Another way he shows it is by tying memories to the present. He'll say something like, I was at that restaurant we used to go to and it made me think of you, or I heard that song you loved and it brought me back. That's his way of telling you that even when you're not around, the world reminds him of you. He's walking through life and everything he sees has your fingerprints on it. That's what missing somebody does. It makes the present feel empty without them and the past feel golden. Men don't always have the language to say, I miss you. It feels too raw, too direct. So we wrap it in nostalgia. We hand you these memories like little gifts, hoping you'll unwrap the meaning. It's our indirect love letter, our subtle cry for connection. And deep down, we hope you'll respond by saying, Yeah, I remember that too. Because when you say that, it tells us we're not the only one holding on. And let me tell you, the deeper the memory, the deeper the missing. If he's pulling out moments you thought he forgot, moments you didn't even think mattered, that's when you know he's really been hurting in your absence. That's not just casual missing. That's his heart digging into the past because it can't handle the emptiness of the present. So when a man starts talking about remember when, don't dismiss it as small talk. That's his soul reaching out. That's his way of bridging the distance. Because when he misses you, the memories become his anchor, and sharing them becomes his way of saying, I still care. I still want you to be a part of my story. When a man misses you, sometimes he can keep his own mouth shut, but his friends, oh, they'll give him away every single time. See, a man thinks he's slick. He thinks he can control how much you know. But what he doesn't realize is that his circle is like a mirror. They reflect everything he's been carrying, and when he's missing you, it leaks out through them. His boys will start acting different. Their tone changes, their faces light up, or they slip a detail without even meaning to. That's how you know a man has been talking about you behind closed doors, because no man can keep all that missing bottled up. You'll notice it in the way they greet you. When you walk into a room and his friends smile a little wider, when they nudge him and laugh, when they look at you like they know something you don't, that's a sign. That's them saying, without words, he's been talking about her again. Because men don't brag about missing someone to everybody, but to their closest crew, they let it out. They'll admit, man, I've been thinking about her, or I wonder what she's up to these days. And even if his friends don't tell you directly, their reactions will. They'll tease him, they'll drop hints, they'll say your name in a way that makes him uncomfortable. That's the slip up. Sometimes it's even more obvious. One of his friends might let it out plain and simple. He was just talking about you the other day. They don't even think twice. They just say it. And in that moment, you'll see the look on his face, that nervous grin, that shift in his chair, like he's been caught. Because no matter how hard he tries to act cool, his boys just exposed what's really on his heart. And trust me, men don't bring up women in conversation unless they mean something. If your name is floating around in his circle, it's because you're living rent-free in his mind. Even their behavior toward you changes. When a man is missing you, his friends become friendlier, more welcoming, almost protective. They might start saying things like, you should come hang out more often, or we don't see you around anymore. What they're really doing is trying to close the gap for him. They know he's been missing you, and in their own way, they're trying to help him reconnect. Sometimes they're doing it on purpose. Sometimes they're just repeating what they've been hearing from him. But either way, it shows you how deep that missing goes. And then there's the unspoken part. Friends have a way of carrying the energy a man gives off. If he's been sitting around quiet, distracted, and they know it's because of you, the vibe shifts when you walk in. Suddenly everybody loosens up. The mood changes, like you brought the missing piece to the table. That's not a coincidence. That's the reflection of how much space you take up in his thoughts, and his friends can't help but react to it. Men may think they are private, but the truth is, when they miss someone, it spills out in conversations, in late night talks, in those little moments with their boys when they let their guard down. And those friends, they carry that knowledge with them. Some of them can't resist teasing him about it. Some of them let it slip accidentally, and some of them practically hand you the truth because they think it'll push him closer to you. So pay attention to the way his circle behaves around you. Missing you doesn't just stay locked in his heart. It becomes a part of his world. And the people in his world become messengers without even realizing it. A man might be strong enough to bite his tongue, but he can't control the way his friends light up, the way they tease, the way they accidentally tell on him. That's when you know the missing is real, because it's so big it spills out past him and into the people closest to him. When a man misses you, one of the surest signs is how he suddenly starts finding reasons to be helpful. Men are wired to show love through action, not just words. We might not always come out and say, I miss you, but we'll show up with a tool in our hand, with an offer to fix something, with a question like, you need anything? That's our way of saying we want to be close again.